You on Kazoo.
Don't run, jump, or dance while playing the kazoo. Thanks.
Kazoo? That's crazy. Just you and me. Thanks. I'm glad you came along, partner.
Welcome everybody to tonight's Plumes of Hazard.
That was Plumes of Dirty Drops.
Awesomest kazoo ever. Yes. That's just amazing. Kazoo parties all around.
I wish we could have done it longer because that was dank.
I'm Mass Blast 09. This is the Angstful Vapor, Fubaka, and Understudy 77. What up, y'all?
What up?
No more kazoo.
No more kazoo. No more kazoo. The only thing that was sad was A, it was too short, B, it wasn't loud enough. It needed to like thump.
Oh, you should have put in the awkward hip thrusting too.
No.
I don't think that's okay on an adult show.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I think it would be flagged for YouTube content, something or another.
And now, with the voice of reasoning, Understudy 77, board member of Not Blowing
Wet
Smoke.
Blanket Society.
Every time, see, here's the thing. Every time we say that, we have to do the.
So,
I totally had the cloud coming out at the same time as the bang.
So, Masty, I needed a bottle to put some stash in, and the only one that I could find because I trashed all my other ones. I found one empty of your Masty. And as I was pulling the labels off, I was like, that's really sad. I'm pulling Masty's face off. So I put it, let's see if I can get it on cam here. I put it on my microphone. So you can always be with me, buddy.
Josh was super kind when he sent Juice and sent me some stickers, which I used to put on.
Oh, that's what I should have put on here. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Actually, it has added to the collection here of my computer case. I've got see that cunt one is. Let me move my headphones down. That's from that came from John Martin when he sent me the Origin. I got the Ruby Crew. I got the stash sticker right there.
I love it.
Yeah.
The OG Plumes of Hazard sticker over there.
So I have stash stickers on my desk, but if I have a sticker available for a bottle, I always do because like pear cake is just a pear cake sticker.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, I've just taken to writing on there with a Sharpie and putting a piece of tape over it, which is way less fun than what you were doing. That's a good idea. I'll do it after the show.
The problem is you have like 2 or 3 stash flavors at one time, and the stickers just say stash.
Well, I'm gonna do both. I'm gonna put the sticker on one side and then my thing on the other. Anyway, hey Ahmed, what are you
requesting labels? Like legitimately, like, hey, if you're gonna send me juice, please send me an unstuck label.
Yeah.
I'm vaping on Southbound from Stash. Speaking of Stash, in
Yeah.
Narda. Oh, is that a Narda? Yeah, that is a motherfucking Narda.
Oh.
Yeah, I got one. I got one. I'm fucking happy. It's on the SX Mini. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Velocity on the Titan. Cozy Custard. Nothing new there. Shit is dope. In the Barrow on the VF Classic. I'm all over. Got some Mass T and another billow on the Centurion. I got that Abolishment. Back in the Hurricane. Back in the Expo Stick. Been good.
Nice.
Got some Abolishment back in my life. It's good. Angsty?
It's always a good day. Speaking of which, JMFD, I've got the Evil Reaper on top. A little story about that later to come. Abolishment's in there. Speaking of abolishment, we've got it in the Squape Reloaded, the shorty one, and that is sitting on top of the ice stick. Not ice stick. Oh, how embarrassing! Cool Fire 4.
Can we just call you the Angstful Shorty?
Mm-hmm. I put this on there because I had this in the tosser stack, but this is kind of like a glossy black, and didn't really match the matte black of the tosser stick. So I put it on here, which is really nice. The glossy black there and white, and looks good. Anyway, so throwing a little back a little bit, we've got the flasks on top of there. I have Narda the second and Omen Tip on top. Inside of here is Stash's Blue fucking Sky. Wow!
Every time you say that, I think we need to do a Kazoo drop.
Yeah, Kazoo drop. Oh, that needs to be a thing.
I'm really glad you were able to vape it today.
I think I might be able to. Let's see if we can time it. Let's see. See, it'd have to be a little bit further in. Yeah, it'd have to be like that.
That's good. So in here, Blue Sky. So brief juice shout out. Thank you, Josh, for sending this on. I got to try beta this a while back, and I had some feedback, and I don't know if I was alone in that, but I know that this retail version fixes the thing that I didn't think was awesome about it originally. We are scaled down to a less sweet version, and so it's nice and lemony. The cake part is banging. It tastes like my mom's. She used to make a lemon poppy seed cake. So it was like a poppy seed cake. It's kind of like a pound cake, poppy seeds in it. But she had this lemon glaze that she put on top. So like where a pound cake gets that crusty, crunchy, caramelized, sugary bits on the corners, fucking that's what it tastes like. I really, really, really like it. Then next I have my I have something new sitting on top of the Melee box. This is the Marquis by Cisco and Dino, and I just picked this up this last week. Inside of there is Lushington, and Lushington is always good. And now that I got kind of a more appropriate build in the Marquis, it is very good. We'll talk about that in a little bit as well. And then last but not least, the A&M Art and Mod Evo has got the first Narda that I had, and inside of there has been, what have I had in there this week? I moved on from Railcracker this last week. Inside of here this week I've got Lab Rat's Red Rhapsody, which squonks very well.
One does not simply move on from Railcracker.
No, we haven't moved on.
You guys had some issues.
We moved to the side. Because there literally has been basically nothing in the squonker but Railcracker since I've gotten it. But I do have Red Rhapsody in right now. It's been a nice little change, shifting gears. I'm sure we'll have Railcracker back in here soon. That's what I got going on, Sean.
I have the Minx Pico with Wah, the JMFD Origin Tiny Tank with Pear Cake, which I'm still really enjoying and about out of. Abolishment in the Art and Mod Evo with the Origin Tiny. I'm really strapped with fucking Origin Tinies right now.
Yeah, you are. You're Origin out.
Origin Tiny Tank on the DNA 75 beta filled with Blue Sky.
Ooh, would you say it's the origin of your high horsery?
Wow.
No. How's Blue Sky in the Tiny Tank?
Pretty good. A little heavy on the lemon, a little less on the cake, but pretty good. It's slightly sharp, but I don't mind that, so to speak.
Did you taste it? Like, just taste the juice?
Yeah.
It's very sharp. Like,
it's very sharp.
Like,
it's less sharp to vape.
Yeah.
But it's still maybe a little more sharp than it would be in something else. But I think the blueberry and the lemon together are just kind of sharp in general.
Yeah.
The Narda with the Cool Fire TC100 with Cozy Custard from Lab Rat Liquids.
Yeah.
And the Tosser Mod with the EVL Reaper filled with Smashing Drops.
Mm-hmm.
Mast, what do you got?
Masty's muted.
He did it again!
Got me. I got Blue Sky still in the Velocity on the Hexome Silo mod, and something that changed over the last week. We have Addie's yogurt, and it was. I'm not a big yogurt fan, and it was like a bit like tart. Since we got it fresh, what about a week and a half ago, and I left it open, and I think it aired out some, and I have that on the Squonker Narda that is not squonking at the moment because I'm dripping this. So that's what I have. Because, some people only have one Narda.
Everybody else here.
That's okay.
I also have one Narda.
That's good.
All right, so we are shifting the show format slightly because tonight we have a very special guest on, and he has been a champ to stay up really crazy late because he is 6 hours ahead of us right now, which is in the wee hours of the morning. So I kind of wish that I hadn't, but I was a while back. You probably remember on the show I had a pylon by Limelight that was given to me kind of as a loaner kind of thing, and I used it for a while and it was awesome. And then I knew somebody that could use it, so I pipped it to the next person. So I don't have it on me, but for whatever reason, I really thought about reaching out. But brief shout out to Steven, who said, "Hey, you should talk to the guy from Limelight." And I was like, sure, should definitely have done that. But so I don't have any of his mods here, but I can speak to the quality of them. But we did want to talk to the guy. So everybody, please welcome show and broadcast. This gentleman's name is Dejan.
Hi guys.
Wait, hold on. Is it Alexandrovich? I forget.
Yeah, Alexandrovich.
Perfect. You say it a lot better than I do. As one could expect. Welcome, Dan. Hey, wait, can we have a kazoo drop for Dan coming out?
We sure can. Kazoo drops all night.
So, Dan, why don't you, for the people that I don't know where they've been under a rock somewhere, why don't you tell them what it is that you are, and then maybe a little bit about Limelight.
The founder of Limelight Mechanics. For those that don't know, we started off with making e-pipes in 2013 through 2014 when we made the first box, then the pylon, the atomizer, and now the box reborn. That's about our whole portfolio for now.
Oh, that's it.
We're based in Serbia, and for those that don't know, that's in Europe, Eastern Europe. Mm-hmm. And we're currently moving, as you can see probably in my background, everything is falling apart here, so that should be done in a few days.
Is that why you're moving? Because that building is no longer good enough?
Yeah, it's actually gotten too small for us.
Too small for? Well, I saw you had helpers running around there, so how many people work for you?
Yeah, me, my dad, and some 8 guys repairing the parts and everything else. Yeah, 8 people, yeah.
Damn. That's
it's
awesome.
A big production.
That is a big production. That's cool. Well, that means a lot more box reborns are going to come out, right?
Yeah, among other stuff, yeah.
Among other stuff. All right, Masty, have you had a chance to grab those pictures?
I do. I will start bringing them up here in just a second.
Cool. So let's we can talk about the products here in a minute, but what I'm interested in, because this is something that I fully admit I'm wholly ignorant about, is what's vaping like where you're at? Do you have B&Ms around you? Are there restrictive laws? Do you see people vaping on the street? That kind of thing?
Let's say somewhere 2010 there was no vaping in Serbia. It was introduced. The first time then, and it was pretty big actually. At one time, I used to own, co-own, the biggest e-cig distribution in Serbia, and through 2011, 2012, it was really huge here in Serbia. Like everyone was vaping. You could just go down the street, and because we have a lot of smokers, all of those smokers, and when I say all, I mean all of them converted to vaping.
No kidding.
Yeah. But the market just, I don't know, blew up and then disappeared in like a few months.
In a few
months? What's happened. Yeah, it was really quick. So 2013, the year was pretty dead vaping related, and today you can't see any vapors here. There are some, but it's really small percentage. They all return to cigarettes. The cigarettes are dirty cheap here. It's like €1 a pack, something like that.
Oh,
Holy crap.
Yeah, if I lived in Serbia, I'd probably still be smoking.
Yeah, Marlboro and the expensive ones are some €1 a pack, and the other ones are even cheaper.
I'm curious, how much? So a pack of Marlboros, that's what I smoke, menthol. So they're about €1 to €2 a pack. I'm looking at.
€1, I think, €1 and €1.50. Yeah.
Jeez.
That's nuts. So, is there much tobacco in the cigarettes?
Yeah, there is actually the original, of course, Marlboro original.
No kidding. That's amazing that it's that cheaper because that. Yeah. Anyway, so the thing that surprised me about you saying that is, in 2012, you says when it blew up. That's not. I mean, when I know because I started vaping right after that, and you couldn't find any of that over here. Very, very few.
You only know a few people who
Yeah.
did their due diligence, and it was still, when we got into it, it was just getting good, you know?
Yeah, there were mostly egos and stuff like that here, really cheap stuff.
So
Or did they miss? I maybe missed 1 year. Let me rethink, because time flies when you're in the workshop 24/7. It was 2012, 2013. I'm right.
So
Cool.
So I'm curious. So from what you said, the market naturally collapsed because of price.
Yeah.
There were no laws passed that banned vaping. People were just like, "This shit's expensive. I'm gonna go back to smoking."
Yeah. We're going to back
I
to
haven't.
smoking.
I probably about only a handful of cases of that around the world, right?
Probably.
It's
It's really
crazy.
weird, but
That's
That's
super
fair.
weird. Well, Masty said he's ready with some pics, so I want to show some people some of your gear, especially especially the box reborn. But let's start with the pylon, if you would, Masty. Which I had one that I showed that Jamie, who's associated with the Ideal Ohm show on that side, he replaced his plate on his. Oh, that's the box reborn. That's
the red one, missed.
Oh, sorry. I had these queued up as in order of.
That's fine. We can talk about the box reborn. So this is
Okay.
Dad's new one, or Limelight's new one. It's called the box reborn, and it's a DNA 200 internal lipo, of course, and it's a 3S lipo, right? Series lipo.
series, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So you got the full power. So
Full 200, yeah.
these things they're beautiful. I mean, they're really, really very tidy.
Thanks.
Do you have so those are they connectors? There's connectors for your lipo, so you can switch the pack out.
Yeah, sure. That's the first ones had I don't know what's the name of the connector. The new ones have the XT30, I believe, connector in it, so it's even tidier than this one.
Perfect. That's great. Because that's something that's something that there's a reason why I haven't like really fully embraced the DNA 200 thing, and that's because of the whole lipo thing. Like I really like to be able to just charge my battery and stuff because we know they wear out.
They do.
Even regular cells do, and lipos do as well. But the fact that you can service that thing yourself is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty easy.
And I was saying before the show, I hadn't seen the box reborn yet, and it's considerably smaller than my own wrecker, and it's kind of making my Johnny tingle. Not gonna lie.
I like anything that's customizable, so I like that you can throw different plates on it, and you can get different plates for it.
That's right. Yeah, that's the next thing I was going to talk about. So your plates that go on the outside. Would you tell us about those, please?
Yeah, the original plates and the original idea was to offer something different. So I went with the stone panels you're probably familiar with. I uploaded some photos too. And from there we switched to some leather covers and now to the stab wood ones and then to the complex ones. You probably have photos of those too. I just uploaded them.
Now
The
you
puzzles and everything like that.
You have a box in your hand currently, right?
Yeah, sure.
Can you hold it up just to give people an idea of size? Because those photos won't really give a good idea of size.
Of scale, yeah. So I mean, that looks like a P box, like a Hammond
It's
P box,
tiny.
maybe a little thicker.
Yeah, it's like a little thicker, but it's not as wide.
Yeah.
It's a little more.
It's gorgeous. So, and I think you said it was a 950.
950 lipo, yeah.
Yeah.
And if you're a mid-range vapor, like I could probably slap my billow on there and run it at 40 watts, and I can get probably I got that about a full day at 40 watts.
Mhm.
You would.
I also just want to point out that of the mods that I've seen. And the one that Masty has up is a really good example, and there's another one with dice on it that's a really good example. Your inlay work and custom work on these doors is some of the best that I've seen in the business.
Thanks.
Hands down. Like, that puzzle box look is really cool.
Thanks. Yeah, it looks great, and it feels great also when the stab wood is inlaid like that and sealed and polished. It's fantastic.
It's nice. It's a nice breath of fresh air to see something different, because I still love a good dye job on stab wood, but that, come on, man.
Do you have the dice one handy, Mast?
Hang on.
While you bring that up, how do you get those on and off, Dan?
1 second.
Magnets.
Magnets?
I'll show you. Yeah, let me show you. Give me a minute.
I'm pulling it up right now. Okay. You want the one with the dice?
Yeah.
Alright, 1 second.
Oh, so
you stick it in.
little hole.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I found two needles, I think.
Look at there.
On the bottom socket, this one isn't engraved yet, so.
Tiny little hole. Okay. And that's on the bottom, so it hides it. That's awesome.
Yeah, and it also
Hold on, we lost you on sound.
Oh, really? Do you hear me
Oh,
now?
there he goes. He was just a little bit far away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
There's the
your
one with
dice.
the knife.
There's your dice.
So there's the dice. You want to zoom up on the dice, Mast? On the
Yep.
inlay? Because that
Oh.
inlay work is so impressive.
It is.
That one was a nightmare to make.
It is
That's amazing.
ridiculously impressive, though.
Yeah. That's cool.
Oh,
Yeah, that is just unbelievably impressive.
The long sleepless nights, huh?
Well, this one too. I mean, this is pretty amazing.
I mean, I can imagine even more trouble if he put a 12-sided die on there.
Yeah.
All right, and I got the red one next, Inksy.
Okay.
So that's the pylon.
Yeah, there you go. And built in Serbia. that's got a polish tube on it. I think.
Yeah, that's actually the first clear coat I've done. I did that one for a friend. I never did clear coats before that, and then he insisted he wanted a clear coated one in glossy, and that's actually the first thing I did in that technique. It turned out really nice, actually.
Yeah, it did. Thomas77. Oh, he's asking how much they cost. The box reborns.
They are $550 US shipped with PayPal fees. So extra shipping, PayPal fees, and the mod with the stone covers.
That comes with stone covers and that little leather pouch guy, right?
Yeah, the leather pouch too. Yeah.
Which is cool. A lot of other mods you have to buy that separate. It's kind of neat that you put it in.
Yeah, and the Atticam standard, of course. The
Sure.
tube atomizer.
I feel like I want to ask you something, but I'm not sure how to ask it. I know very, very little of Serbia's current state of being. Is it easy to own a business there? Is it somewhere that's, I don't know, is it dangerous? Is it how could I relate to that?
It's cold.
Yeah, it's cold.
It's kind of shady, let's put it that way. You can own a business and you can own a legit business, but sooner or later you'll run into some problems.
Yeah.
So it's a bit problematic here.
Oh, greasy palms, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, do you need to get a little encouragement?
Yeah, right,
The same thing happens here. People just are dressed better and smile a lot more and act more polite. We call them inspectors, fire marshals.
Yes.
Yeah,
Especially
those are the guys.
in Chicago. It sounds exactly like Chicago. It's cold. You gotta grease the palms a little bit.
Actually, it's pretty hot here in summer.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I don't doubt the existence is over, but I used to know that.
But in winter it's dirty cold. It's just awful.
Wait, I'm trying to think of my mental map of Eastern Europe. Are you bordering the Black Sea?
Not really. We're, let's put it like this, above Greece. North, directly north above
All right.
Greece.
Okay. Okay, there you go.
Right on.
Well, so that makes a little more sense why vaping would have been big there, right? Because Greece was obviously a pretty hotbed of
Yeah, it was.
a lot of vaping stuff early.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay. What else do we talk about? I feel like I'm missing something big.
Yeah.
Oh, you had an atomizer. The
tube atomizer. Yeah.
tube. Is that something that you wanted to do like on the side, or is that just because I know you've been trying a few different things, right? Your e-pipes, and then you did the pylon, and then got the box reborn. Where did the tube come into that?
The tube came in as a project with my friend from a town nearby. He wanted to design an atomizer, and I just let him in and worked on it with him and put his ideas to realization. So the tube was born, and it's actually a Mount Elangati, which is not really that popular right now, right? But
Yeah.
we wanted to make something a bit different.
Hey, I'm glad you're doing it. That's how I vape.
That's right.
Mount Elang, right?
There's not enough people making shit for guys like me.
Yeah, that's right.
Nobody
It
else
was a small
thinks
project,
like
but-
me.
So
I don't have
Bert,
time to do that. Sorry.
Bert in chat, Bert just said the plumes of geography, and
Yeah.
you know that's fine. I can admit that there's a section of the world that I've never been to. I've been all over Western Europe. I've been to China. I've been all over the place, but I've never been to this.
Plumes of geography, motherfuckers. Plumes of guess which country I'm from. I'm sure everyone's been assuming the wrong one the whole goddamn time.
Wait, you're Mexican, right?
If it wasn't for vaping, I never would have been off the East Coast.
Probably true.
I thought you were a spy.
No, I breed horses.
Oh, I thought you were an international spy. No.
I just got a message from one of our friends, and I won't say his name, but he said, "Dude, my wife is from Croatia. Talking about Serb Balkan politics is beyond tricky." And that's true. That's true. But
True.
at the same time, I feel like I like to learn about stuff like that. And I feel like others might too, just to kind of expose a little bit. Just expose a little bit. So I hope that was okay. What else?
Well, we need to talk about how someone can go about getting a hold of one of these boxes. That's what we need.
Well, just through the group right now, but we will have some 80 units available soon. We'll see how we'll sell them because they're only 8 pieces, and the second batch is coming. I'm hurrying to finish everything and get everything done from my side for my team before I leave for China, because I'm leaving there. I'll be off for 1 month, so things will be a bit slower and a bit problematic while I'm around, but they'll manage.
Yeah. So that actually brings.
Inside chat too for anybody who's interested in joining and trying their luck.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Brian.
So that was something that I wanted to bring up. That's what I couldn't. I was sitting here having a brain fart a minute ago. Dan, what are you doing in China? Would you talk about that?
Believe it or not, holiday.
Oh, you're going to holiday.
Yeah.
Okay.
China and Bali. So I have really good
Ooh.
friends in China, believe it or not. So I'm going to visit them with my girlfriend.
Right on. Okay, where are you going in China?
Shenzhen.
Oh, beautiful. That'll be a lot of fun. I have been there.
Don't take any of your
Some-
boxes.
Yeah.
Get,
Right.
get a nice view of some CNC lathes and.
When you get to the airport, the reason they're scanning your boxes is not to check them; it's to actually copy everything on them. That's what happens when you come in. They
Do
just
it in
scan
time, yeah.
everything, and it goes right into the conveyor belt. And I mean, literally, after they scan it, they have like 500 little Chinese people in the back. They just start making it right away. It's like Transformers. It just starts coming out. I don't know why I said little Chinese people, but you know, they just have a bunch of Chinese people back there. No offense to the Chinese.
If you happen to
I
take
don't know.
vaping devices with you, take vaping devices made by people you don't like.
Yeah, there you go. So, besides all that, what I really wanted to know, because I didn't know you were going on holiday, that's cool, but I have heard that you previously were working in China to kind of help them in ways. Or were you consulting over there?
No, not really. I was trying to get up a business running in China before with my friends who live there. in terms of designing stuff and developing stuff and something like that. We even founded a company in Hong Kong for that, but it never worked out because it required for me to actually move there and be physically there. And I would have done that, but two things stood in my way. First is my girlfriend, who is here, and she wouldn't move. She wasn't ready to move. And the second one was, of course, Limelight.
Sure. So those girls, they're a very powerful pull, aren't they? They'll you want to be with
little things.
They're worth it, but sometimes sometimes you have to think about the decision first.
And then rethink.
That's right. Okay. Oh, that's more dangerous territory. Maybe we shouldn't go there either.
Yeah,
Boy, we're just walking a veritable verbal minefield tonight, aren't we?
After last,
careful, careful what you say, because he not only can make boxes, but he's one of the Serbia's top hackers. So, because everyone in Serbia is a hacker. I mean, world hackers come out of Serbia. There you go.
Yeah, I have a PC that qualifies me.
Everybody in
Yeah,
Nigeria.
there you go.
Everyone in Nigeria has a boat, and they're a fisherman.
Or a prince. They're also all princes.
a lot of princes.
So what can we talk about? What's next for Limelight? Because obviously you've got your Box Reborn is just now getting rolling, right? You got your first series or your first batch altogether,
First batch.
and you said you're going to be finishing that off before you go on holiday. But what are we doing next at Limelight?
Well, I won't be saying much, but let's just say I got Dicodes chips coming in.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
Dicodes, however you spell them, yeah.
I'm glad you don't know that.
Pronouns.
I'm really glad you don't know that because we've debated if it's Dicodes, Dakotes. We don't know how to say
Dicodes.
I'm not sure. I suppose it's
I'm
Dicodes, but
I'm just going to throw out a suggestion here, too, and may I also suggest playing around with the star plot a little bit. Of all the non-DNA boards that I've tested, I think the star plot is so far my favorite.
I have it here, but it's really tricky for installation, and it's really not the tidiest board to install, so that's why I backed out. I have one here, I have some here, but I backed out when I saw it.
Fair enough. I know that. What did we just see? Sean, was it? Did you share it last week? That new one?
Which one? Oh, wait. Which? Oh, no, I didn't share it. I was going to share that this week.
Yeah. You should go pull that up because I thought that was interesting.
Let's just do that right now. I'm pretty sure it's here somewhere. Damn it, where is it? So there's from what I can gather, and I'll kind of baseline while I try to find this because fuck if I didn't lose it. There's a new Dakotes board coming out that looks like it's a drop-in to the DNA.
Wait, yeah, DNA 40 sized.
Yeah.
They showed me that.
Yeah, but but I saw that. That's just like a placeholder image, isn't it? Like, you didn't actually see an image of the board itself.
Well, they have kind of a...
It was like a shadowed one or something, right? It was like an outline.
The Dakotes BF60 here, I have the picture. Just let me upload it real quick, and then I can then we can share it. It's the Dakotes BF60 is the name.
I'm seeing all the different people trying to spell Dakotes and Dicodes.
I knew. Thanks for reminding me, because I knew there was fucking something.
Yeah, I did too.
Someone said, and I think they might be right, it's German. You pronounce all the vowels, so to which I phonetically spelled Dicodes. Nuts.
Dicotes nuts.
Dicotes nuts.
Is it German? I thought it was. Greece. I thought it was Greece that was.
This is snagged right from Facebook. I'm not gonna say where. Output power 60 watts, temperature control with all kinds of wire, which I expect, predefined coefficients, which I kind of expect because the current ones have that, 20 amp output, 10 volt output.
Whoa, 10 volts?
10 volt.
Hang on.
Unheard of.
Keep going.
Hold that up there.
Resistance range 0.1 to 3 ohm. Operating input voltage range 2.6 to 4.2. Onboard temperature sensor. Full operation from 3 volts up.
It's got a bunch of shit and it looks cool and it's not too big.
So here's my comment to it. If it adjusts in 0.1 and doesn't have a really shitty menu, then I'm down.
Yeah.
Because
dude, that
I liked the vape.
It looks slightly wider than a 40, but not as long, maybe.
Oh wait, I'm looking at this going, what's wrong with this? Oh, it's a DNA 20.
Oh,
That's
man.
32.8 by 17.4 by 8.5 is the size.
I think you
You know, I've been a lot.
Is it pronounced Die High?
Die High Cody cigars.
Cody cigars.
But a lot of people haven't seen a 20.
Switch off, 5 clicks.
Old
That's
school.
an old school 20.
Yep, there you go.
Click on you. That's an old school 20. I mean, the pads look like they're in fairly similar spots.
Ish. Yeah, anyway, so I thought it was kind of, it's just something thought I should mention, because I know Sean was going to mention that, and he may have forgotten.
Yeah, so that was going to be a part of the news, and now, hey, there you go. I don't know shit about this, other than that from what I've heard all around, this is going to be swappable with DNA mods.
Which is cool.
If you have any questions, you can reach Nick at evolvevapor.com.
Yes, you can.
I'm waiting for the ding of him saying "fuck you."
Plumes starts 41 minutes ago, by the way.
Yeah. All right. Is there anything else that I've missed? I don't think so. Deanna, was there anything else that you wanted to say in parting salutation?
Not really. David and Aaron wanted a shout out, so guys, here it is.
There's just
give me a hard time about it later.
Give me a shout out. I'm a Limelight admin. So David Day, shout out.
David Day, Aaron Goulart, yeah.
All right, man. Well, I really appreciate you staying up so late. That was very kind of you.
Thanks, guys.
I hope you don't have to work too hard to get out, and then I hope you have a really good time on your holiday.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, man.
Have a nice evening, day, whatever it is. See you next time.
Hey, buddy.
Get some sleep, buddy.
Bye.
Peace.
All right. That was awesome.
It's
There he
Tuesday.
goes, ladies.
That's good.
It's Tuesday where he is.
It is Tuesday.
Mhm.
It's been Tuesday where he is.
He was broadcasting from the future.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
At least.
Anyway.
Boy, it's really. We've only done it a couple times having the guest on first, and now it's all weird.
Feels weird, doesn't it?
Yeah, in a good way though. It's good to switch things up sometimes.
I'm kind of glad because we never would have covered the die codes thing otherwise.
Probably not. I probably wouldn't have remembered. All right. So how about those potatoes? What does that even mean? I don't know what that means.
Potatoes.
They grow?
Like my Narda that I got. Yeah, I got one finally. Wanted one. Like I've kind of wanted one. I think when you guys first got one, I was like one of those, I know you motherfuckers are going to jump on its whole vape on one of yours next time I see you, and I did that. I vaped on Angsties quite a bit in Tampa.
Yeah.
And I had that derailment shit that I still can't talk about, and it tasted amazing.
It did.
It did.
They
Tasted
need
really good.
they need to hurry up with that. Like seriously,
Shit is dank.
I need to talk to Chucky Finster and find out.
Oh no!
hey,
You know what he's
Bus-
doing right now? He's
No,
probably
no,
playing
no,
Rocket
hey,
League
hang on.
hoops.
Here's what I need to be like. I'm gonna, hey, is your boss going? I don't know. Do I release it? Do I not? Do I make the juice? Do I not make it?
Do we
What do I
put it
do?
out? Do we pull out?
Mask, quit busting.
Oh, no.
Why you
What?
busting his balls?
Well, you got
Because it's just how we roll.
that's his job. He's supposed to be one busting.
Every so often, balls got to get busted, okay?
He's not even in chat. I don't see him in here.
No.
Let's see. Ball Buster. Nope, not in here.
Oh, food's not a. Whoops. Let's make that happen. So, Foo, what else you got? You got the Narda going.
So I got one off our Plumes list, and it came on Friday because I mistakenly got first class shipping, but I built it through I looked at Angsty's build guide on Discourse. My coil was a little high. It whistles like my Odin.
Does
can.
it?
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah.
But the flavor's better than my Odin. I mean, the Odin was one of my favorite addies for a while, and this reminds me a lot of it, but it's better in terms of flavor. I mean, theoretically, I probably could try and put a dual coil in here, but that would be way too hot. The flavor's awesome. It's a restrictive lung, I know Angsty and Sean and Master talked about it, but I love it. I got Southbound in here. I put, what was the shit we got from Josh? Blue Sky.
That's what I got.
Good. So my thoughts on that juice, actually. I want to let it sit for a little bit. It's a little lemony for me up front. And I love lemon. I just want more of that blueberry. I'm not Gucci Mane. He loves lemon. I love lemon too, but not as much as Gucci Mane.
No.
But
I don't think anybody loves it as much as Gucci Mane.
so speaking of lemon, I had my ultimate drip tip from my Pico clone around here somewhere. But yeah, it's a solid flavor. Is it better than Dark Star? Fuck no. I don't think so. Ain't nothing better than Dark Star from Stash, in my opinion.
I like it a little more than Dark Star, but that's because I like a little different.
So for those, just really quick, if you don't know what Dark Star tastes like, or if you're afraid of coconut, if you've had those almond coco loco Chobani flips, that's what Dark Star is. I've said it on a previous show, and I'll say it again. That's what that shit tastes like. And it's delicious. I love it. But yeah, I don't really have much else to talk about aside from my Narda. It was not a very eventful vape week. I don't think. Anything else happened in the last week that I'm forgetting? Talked about Vape Bash and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I think that's it.
Kyle Cena just dropped a bomb today, premiering programming aimed at vape. 234 hours. PM me for details. Find out how you can earn $100,000 a year working from home.
Oh, I actually had a funny thing happen today. I was going to get coffee. I walked through a parking lot, and I saw a woman like right by the exit, like the last spot near the exit, vaping in her car. And I'm walking past, and I'm just kind of like, "What's up?" Right? Yeah. Middle-aged woman in her car, just chucking tits, dude. Like she was hitting that thing like it was going out of style. So I'm like, all right, cool, right? I get my coffee. And I'm coming back out, and I'm crossing the street, and she's still there, but she starts pulling out of the parking lot. I'm across the street, I see her, she's got a cigarette in her mouth, and I was like,
hey.
I guess that was enough. That wasn't enough tit chucking, so...
Yeah, maybe that saved her one cigarette. Maybe she was going down for
Yeah, exactly. I just thought it was funny as fuck that she was like and she like looks up and like, you vape, I vape too. Yeah.
The vapor wave. Somebody talked about that on ECR a while back. The little salute that we do.
I just do the normal. Yeah, I actually did just the.
Yeah.
But I should go full blown. Like, oh.
Then they might run away.
I didn't know anyone else did this. Angsty.
Me. All right. Oh boy. So the first thing I wanted to say. Last week, Sean and I gave our reviews of the Amon RTA. Sean properly threw his, which he should have, because it was not good.
Before you get to the next section, I need to tell a story about this.
Yes.
So we gave a review of the Amon.
Oh, yes, there was this.
Brian made a joke on air. Oh, man, I hope you got paid for that. That Addy. No, don't worry about it. He's not watching. So, subsequently, about 30 minutes after the show ends, I get a message from the guy. Yeah, so your review, not good, huh? I said, yeah, I put up a video in the group like the other day that said it was shit. And he goes, yeah, I really hate to do this, man, but I don't want it. So from now on, I will not be reviewing anything that I dislike until after I sell it. Fuck all of them.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So what I wanted to say is give you a little brief history. So those guys came into the States. It was sold via the group buy in a group, but who comes to find out who actually supplied it was Vapenart. They were the ones who received it. They gave a batch of them to this group buy, and then they were selling it themselves. So I wanted to say thank you to Larry and Oki at Vapenart because unlike any other store with an RBA, those guys made sure that everybody was taken care of, even the people that didn't buy directly from them. They got it through the group buy. They made sure to take back, if anybody had any problems with it, they actually had them send them back to them. They went through, they polished them, they rebuilt them, they made sure they were working, and Oki did a lot of this work, I think. And they also offered refunds, and I actually opted for the refund because I didn't think it was that great, and I had some problems with it as well, and they very graciously did so. In order to help them, I picked something else off their site and said, hey, if it makes it easier for you, money-wise, I don't know what happened or whatever. I said, how about you send me another Expo stick or tosser stick? And the reason is because a while back, as you may know, I got mine damp, my original one damp, while I was fishing, and it was messed up anyway. I couldn't use it. So I happened to mention that to Larry because I bought the original LE from him, the tosser stick, and he goes, all right, when you send the amount back, send your LE back. We'll see if we can fix it. I was like, what? So I did. I sent my thing back. So in trade, he sent me the light to trade out for the Addy, and then I just got a message this last weekend from Oki, who has fixed my freaking tosser stick and is sending that back to me right now. I have not been treated that well by a company in a long time, especially in vaping, and I wanted to say thank you very much for them for standing up and helping out the people that kind of got boned a little bit by kind of a weird piece of product or whatever.
You mean to tell me you got better customer service for your Expo stick from Vapenart than you did from Minisig?
Right, go.
To answer horror, Tosser does not have customer service. Vapenart has customer service.
Yeah. So,
because I got to say the same thing, and I owe the same shout out because I then also reached out to Larry over at Vapenart, and he swapped me for another Origin Tiny Tank, which I wanted to pick up anyway.
Right. I will say that is not how you make money in this business, right? You don't make money by pulling back in products you've already sold, and whether or not he gets reimbursed for that, who knows what's going to happen there. You don't make money like that, but what you do make is repeat business, because I've always liked Vapenart anyway. Now I've only got more reason to not only shop there myself, but to recommend.
Continue to give them money.
Yeah, no, that was super, super cool. So I just want to say thank you to those guys for that, kind of sorting that out. So
Peter asked, "What's the point of honest reviews?" I said, "Don't worry, I'll be honest. I just won't review anything till after I sell it."
Yeah,
I'm just vaping on this thing. That's all I'm gonna say.
I'll talk to you guys about it next week. I'll give my review next week after it's done.
Well, your body language will give it away anyway.
Yeah. Right. So I wanted to briefly talk about the Squape. So, and I've got it here in the old tosser at the moment. So I'm going to pull this out. I'm going to show you the deck because it's a little bit of a weird one, the one that I've been using and enjoying. And Mr. William calls this the deck of perpetual moistness. And I think he said that because he got to say the word moist, which is I'm a big fan of because it's a funny word.
That's why it's in my flavor description.
Right. So unlike a normal sort of deck where you've got kind of somewhere for it to be and then the wicks to hang down somewhere or whatever, this one you actually just drape the wicks straight back down into the well, and that well has got holes all the way around it. There's 4 holes just sitting in juice, and juice just flows into here. And I've got some cotton down the bottom because if you don't, it'll just piss out everywhere or whatever. So you just kind of throw down a little cotton bed down around the hole. And I have to say, I have yet to get a leak, like a leak down the airflow hole, and I've also yet to get a dry hit because it looks like that all the time. It's just uber soaked with e-liquid. It works really well, guys. I don't know. It's a little weird. Kyle, I did say I'm going to pull this out and show you the deck with an E, not with an I, because that would be gross and definitely against the YouTube guidelines. I don't think you can do anything else. Yes, I am sponsored by Diet Coke tonight. Oh, hold on, you can't see it because I'm zoomed in. Let me zoom back out and point out.
How awesome would that be if you actually got sponsored by Diet Coke?
Right? That would be amazing. So I've had a very long weekend of work, and I have been definitely consuming a lot of caffeinated, carbonated beverages. So that's the deck that I've been working with. It works really well. It's got a very I think it definitely rivals the Hurricane for abolishment, and that's saying something.
You should just call it a Diet Cody's.
Yeah, Diet Cody's.
Diet Cody's.
Yes. Angsty will invest all of his money in that.
All of the money's in the Diet Cody's. Overall, I think this is a really nice atomizer. It is big, but the RS size is much less big. And also the Mun bell cap, which I've got over there, is also less big, which is good. I've got kind of a longer drip tip in it, but it looked nice, so I left the Omen tip in there. I will say that while I enjoy the flavor, filling it is a pain in the dick, and that's dick with an I.
Diet Cody's.
Diet Cody's. So the e-metal, chimney part that gets left in there, you have to fit, and I'm not going to be able to show you because it'll pour out everywhere if I tilt it that far, but you really do have like a millimeter around the outside of that to try to get it filled, and you'll get the surface tension that'll make it a bubble. It's kind of a pain.
I'll tell you what worked for me the best when I had mine. Basically, take like the pointer drip tip and put it against the side, and then rotate it around while lightly squeezing.
That's what I've been doing. That's exactly what I've been doing.
It's a pain in the ass, but that's the best way to fill it.
Yeah, so Big Jared in chat just pointed out that the new Squape, the X Dream or whatever, is top fill, and that's true, and that is good, but, and it has that super cool like deck attachment thing where you can shut off the juicer, open the juicer.
But it's uglier than that.
But it's huge, and it's really not very attractive. But who knows? Maybe they'll come up with something cool, like a shorty tank for it, and then we'll talk about it later. Because I do think overall, this deck is very tasty, and overall I've enjoyed the vape out of it. I've also been able to just vape the crap out of that thing. So since it never even gets slightly dry, that build and the wick has lasted for a long time. I've had that wick in there for days at this point, many days, and it's been great. I've had lots of tanks through it, and you wouldn't be able to tell. So I think that's cool. Overall, it's a pretty good buy, especially with a B deck in it. Although the person that sold it to me, thank you, Tony, is one of our admins. I do think he likes the D. I mean the D deck.
We're talking about putting the tip on the rim and rotating it around.
Yeah, around the ring of the D. No, that's part of the deck. Anyway, okay, so I'm going to stop talking on that particular thing. Otherwise, I'm going to get in trouble.
The B deck was not out when I had a Squape.
Yeah, and the D is the dual coil one, by the way.
I don't think my experience with the Squape was probably as good as what you're having right now. Probably due to that deck not existing.
Yeah. Because the W was out, I think, at the time, and the W apparently is a very K-funny kind of vape, which is fine. But I'm liking this a little bit more. It's a little more restricted on the airflow than I thought. It does have a really large air hole. The air hole on this guy is pretty big, but not
on the inside.
And on the inside, it's more restricted down than that. So it's definitely restricted lung. If that's what you're after, you can probably compare it roughly against the Hurricane, maybe a little less than the Hurricane. Anyway, done with the Squape. It was pretty good. It was worth picking up and vaping on. I have a sad day. I have been using the EVL Reaper for, I don't remember when I got my Reaper. It's been a while. It's been my favorite RTA for quite some time, and Ahmed's playing a game.
Rocket League Hoops came out tonight. I just want to inform everybody.
So I've really enjoyed the thing. I got to beta test the Shorty kit, which is very kind of John. I appreciate that still. But I was like, okay, well, he released a thing, and then I went to go say that, and now I've misplaced it. Oh, there it is. I got it closer so I can show you. They did a little short limited release of tops. And Sean has been a fan of the top lately, and so I figured why not? Let's pick one up. So Sean got one too. It's got the limited edition EVL upside down engraved by accident by the machinist, which I think is really funny. But one thing that's kind of clever about it is it's got a little thing on top here that's threaded. So you're supposed to put this on your key ring, and then you've got a little top that you can unthread and around and spin a top. I have to be honest, I still don't really understand the fascination with the whole thing like Sean does, but I will say that I'll support EVL, and it sounded like a good idea at the time, so why not give it a whack?
This is why.
So I bought
that is fucking like Moku tie steel, and it's just awesome.
It's still just a circular piece of metal.
It's awesome.
So back to the story is I picked this up. Sean was going to get one too. We're going to save on shipping, so I also picked up, I should probably have a spare glass, right? So I've been running this thing for weeks, but why not? It wouldn't hurt to have a spare. So the day before, so yesterday, the spare glass arrived today. Yesterday I was getting out of my car, and I totally forgot that my mod was in my lap. And I got out of the car. Smash goes my mod on the concrete, and it did break my glass. So I've actually never broken a glass tank before, and I sure as shit did it. And it was the day before my other one arrived. That's here. Bummer. Anyway, so I'm at least so glad that it's here. I might actually steal Sean's instead of sending it to him.
Thanks.
No problem.
Give me another one.
I will. I wanted to mention something. So last week we talked about the Coolfire 4 TC100. It's a good mod. I enjoyed it overall. The only big negative that I could come up with was the gap of the 510 and our friend at Anakin, whose name escapes me all of a sudden. Dwight? No. What? Dwayne. That's right. I said Dwight. It's Dwayne. He said that they've already addressed that, which is cool that they've already got that fixed. I love screwing the Addy on and it asking you what kind of coil it is without having to jack with a bunch of other stuff. I think that's amazing. Very convenient. Now, the other thing I wanted to mention is I did try out the iSub 5 or iSub V that they sent out. And the one thing I think is really neat that I wanted to mention is this thing is top fill, right? So when you unscrew this guy, you can feel it get pushed up. Like the things that are left in there get pushed up. This guy, when you fill it, it's spring loaded, and what it's doing is actually blocking the juice from going into the chamber while you're filling it, and it's pushed back down when you push it in and you thread it in. I think that's freaking genius. It's a really cool, very simple idea. So, period, right? That's a thing. I think it's really cool. The only reservation I've got with it is if you look down at the bottom, and you're probably not going to be able to tell, so I'm not going to show you, but there's little spring-loaded posts that get pushed down when you thread it down. And I don't know. To me, that seems like it might be a little problematic just being immersed in juice, because that means the springs are probably immersed too. I don't know. Did you had checked that?
I did.
You sitting here playing?
Honestly, I looked and I was sitting here soldering something, and then you said, "Oh, are you really playing Rocket League?" And then all of a sudden I look up and I'm like, "He is playing Rocket League, that motherfucker." So he got ejected. He probably doesn't even know.
I don't think you can. I don't think he can come back in now.
No, that's why I was just gonna hide him.
Wait, they're saying LOL kicked him. Yeah, I kicked him. Wait, no, if I didn't block him though, I just ejected him.
Once you eject somebody, they can't come back in on the same account.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. That's it for the show for him.
Yep. Goodbye. I wanted to.
He was already checked out anyways.
Before we get the hell out of here, so my Melody's got the marquee on top, and I wanted to give Cisco a shout out because not only is this a really good atomizer, I've really enjoyed using it so far. I also found out where the M-Addy got its idea for my favorite thing about the M-Addy was the top cap. And I never realized that this has to be where they got the top cap idea, because that damn thing is exactly the same.
Something you would have done.
He's back. Sorry. It's just that eject button is so perfectly placed, right there.
Right there. This atomizer is really, really good overall. I wanted to show you if you've never seen it. I didn't zoom up. If you've never seen it, I feel like I'm vaping a little bit of a piece of history because they quit making these a while back, and I just never got to buy one. So you have two big air holes that come straight over to behind your coils. It works really well. It's just a simple, twist will adjust airflow like a lot of other things. But obviously that deck design is very, very crazy. It's got a cool little engraving up top. It's very, very deep. The positive pin has slots cut out of it, so you can just lay your wires over there and just tighten it real down. It makes it really easy. But even more than that is the little pins that come with this thing to help build it are brilliant. I have never wrapped an easier atomizer, and that includes the M-Addy, which is very easy. I have never wrapped an easier atomizer with those stupid little poles there, especially vertical coils, to help you knock that thing down. Now, wicking it, okay, the chamber is very tight. It is not easy to wick with a really tight wick, which is what I usually like to do. But the build is simple as hell, and it works really well. Lushington is very good in here, although it's kind of hard to mess up fresh Lushington because, well, it's just delicious. But it's doing a really good job. Overall, so far, I'm really enjoying this guy, and I think I need to stop talking because I'm tired. Sean.
No, he's still here.
Yeah, hold on. There we go. There's a So what was it? Was it two weeks?
That deserves a.
2 weeks ago, we had Ken on the show.
3 weeks. 3
weeks.
A couple weeks ago, we had a guy named Ken on the show from Fernwell Mod, and we also talked to him a lot about his group buy business. And that's kind of how he got started in vaping, right? Doing pretty massive group buys. Well, Ken kindly has done a group buy for us for Poe that is running until Thursday. The link is in the video description already. It's there too. You can get it for it's like $14 a bottle.
Yeah.
Through him. So if you haven't had a chance to try it and have been curious, it's $14 a bottle.
It's dirty cheap, and they've got 120s.
And they've got 120s, and I think the 120s are like 45?
45, something like that, yeah.
So,
I will have to point out that Flitzy just said in side chat that he's got number 666 Marquis 666, and he calls it Dasad.
See, all my cool stuff's coming like later this week. Like I bought another mesh Addy. I got one of those Captivate Premieres. Like those are all coming this week though, so I won't have them to talk about till next week. So I don't have anything really, really cool to talk about this week, but I got a couple things. So first,
oh shit! Hold on, breaking news. That's the breaking.
Beep, 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 beep,
There you go.
It just works with everything.
Yeah, Cisco just sent me a message and said he just added 150 pieces to the velocity to the site. If you want a velocity 2, go get it right now.
So I was half expecting you to be like Marquise, and I was gonna be like, Matt, start your news.
Marquise Brown.
Yeah. Not falling for that one again.
So the big California law hit Governor Brown's desk. The like vaping 21 and over, like all that serious crap that was going on. It hit Governor Brown's desk. He still has a chance to veto it. There's a phone number that you can call to oppose, and I'm going to share that right now. There you go. Make the call. Ask him to veto SBX 2-5, the Leno bill. If you get a chance, do that.
Do not let California ruin all the fun for us.
Yes.
Yeah. The
So-
fun ruiners.
So here's a big one. Tuesday. A lot of stuff went out on Tuesday about how the coal bill was passed. The predicate date for vaping has changed. That's not true.
Nope.
That's not even a little bit true right now.
Or shit.
So what happened on Tuesday, and I want to clear this up, is an amendment was added to the agricultural budget that still has to go through the House and Senate that would change the predicate date. The problem is it also does some other shit that's a little bit more concerning.
Yeah.
Specifically, it gives the FDA control to regulate vaping batteries, or batteries in the use of a vaporizer. The scary thing about that, or the issue with that, is if they deem, say, 18650s unsafe for a vaporizer, then any mod or device that uses an 18650 is technically illegal to sell because it's not allowed to use that battery.
It's the workaround for that closed system shit.
Exactly. That's a potential workaround for basically can still continue to shut down vaping. And there's some other stuff in there. Adult publications are the only ones that are going to be allowed to promote vaping, but they don't actually say what adult publications are. Like the FDA doesn't have a list of adult publications. You have to add some language to bottles, and it will officially make it 18 and over. That's good. What's the other big one? You can only sell a product in a direct face-to-face exchange without assistance of any electronic or mechanical device, such as a vending machine. It says it doesn't apply to mail order, but there's no specifics about whether or not it could be used to apply to online sales. Or that they force some kind of serious thing. So just be aware of what you've read, and I've linked the entire amendment. It'll be in the show notes, and I'll link it here too. Just and we say it here all the time. Fact check everything that you read.
Yes.
Because a lot of people were going around acting like we won, and
Yeah. Fact checking is incredibly important, and I want to take this moment to emphasize to people, and I guess it's applicable anywhere, but know your enemy. It's a great rage against the machine song, but it really holds true because we're the minority, and the FDA is trying to fuck everything and all of that. So what's important is that everyone fact checks what they read, and take what you get, take the information you get, and see. We all know what's great about vaping, but you know what? You have to know what they're going to argue against you.
So, I'll tell you, I watched the hearing. The people on this committee had printouts of fucking trademark infringing e-liquid, pages upon pages of trademark infringing e-liquid. Turn to this pamphlet and tell me that this juice, Fruit Loops, doesn't market to children. Same logo, same everything.
They took my swag. They took my crucifixions, motherfuckers.
Fucking pages. And I mean, it was a boring hearing.
And that's the thing. And I mean, look, it was fun. It was laughs for crucifixions, but I hope that everyone got the underlying serious note I was trying to push. But this is the shit they're going to throw at us. And knowing that, it's like being a lawyer. You know, you're arguing your case. You also have to know what the defense knows about your client, right? And what you know. Like, we're trying to say vaping, and it's great and it's grand, but we got a lot of holes to plug.
And on that same note, we all know that when batteries are blown up, like, we know that it's typically user error. Yeah. 9 times out of 10, it's a user error situation. They don't know this. It would be very beneficial if everybody stopped sharing these articles everywhere. For the same reason that it was not beneficial for us to share Juicifixions everywhere concurrently, because it hurts more than it helps us.
And it's funny because, and this will be a little a segue into what you're talking about, Sean, but or addition, I should say. So the first place that all these things get shared to is Facebook, all right? And what happens is that video will get pasted and pasted and pasted, and you'll see comments. I mean, I've seen some videos with like 600 comments on stuff where the batteries are exploding and stuff like that. And this isn't. I'm not trying to draw a parallel between this and something that just happened here in Florida, but there was a car chase with 3 teenagers in the middle of the night. The 3 girls drove the car into a pond, and they drowned to death. Okay, and long story short,
they drowned to death.
They're dead. So, okay, they died by drowning.
Sorry.
It's not funny. So, anyways,
it's kind of funny.
Because of a video that ended up on Facebook, which was a packet that the sheriffs released to all the media, media now are picking up on questions that come up in these Facebook posts. So I've seen plenty of Facebook posts, and I mean, this was a big deal. I mean, the sheriff was on TV saying, "Why are you asking me these questions? All these questions were answered on the packet. You know, don't grab snippets out of the videos." And that's happening with a lot of the exploding battery videos, and pictures of people laying in hospital beds burnt on a Facebook post. No background information. No, I mean, what was the one guy where he ended up trying to kill himself with a flare, and everybody was blaming it on a mod exploding. Yeah. I mean, but that story snowballed out of proportion. I mean, it was huge. I mean, media outlets were reporting on a Facebook post, which that in itself is an issue. Yeah. But that just goes to show you, when media outlets start reporting on that stuff, people in government positions will see that. Obviously, they got to use their better judgment, but it's still in their head of, this thing blew up in this person's mouth. Or it can. That story wasn't necessarily true, but it's still there.
If you remember, I talked about this not long ago, within the last 10 shows, about how I went to college and wanted to be a journalist, right? And now it's like what Mass was saying. Media outlets are reporting on a fucking Facebook post.
Right.
It's all regurgitated bullshit. It's one large human centipede of media bullshit.
And it's twofold. It's all a matter of being careful what you share and fact-checking what you share. It does get around. I mean, you got to look at this amendment passed the freaking agricultural board, and there was a huge party acting like we won, and the predicate date was changed. And everybody was freaking out about how great it was and whatever, and a lot of the facts that got reported were not true.
Nope.
That said, to end on a note with that, HB 2058 is still really important and still something that we need to fight towards.
It's even more important now, if anything.
Yeah. That's the bill to change the predicate date, not the budget slip in with the worrying amendments. So that's it on that. I got one more. I just saw this today. I thought it was really cool. The Non-Smoker's Guide to Life Insurance. I saw this on ECR, and it's basically about how to get non-smoker rights if you're a vapor, and some information from somebody who does life insurance adjustments as a vapor.
Easy, you just lie.
Yeah. That's one of the things. You must admit the use of electronic cigarettes at the time of application. There's no exception here.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really a cool thing to kind of take a look at and look over. That's all I have. All the interesting Addy stuff will come next week, I think.
All right. So, but in this quick transition between you and Massey. Uh-oh. Am I echoing?
We have a white echo in the house.
Yeah.
Somebody said, now I'm afraid to share. Don't be afraid to share stuff. Just, check your sources and make sure that it's coming from a legitimate source. And if you think it's damaging, like these battery explosion things, just don't share things that damage our industry unless you think that we can fix it.
Assume everything you're reading is bullshit first. It's easier that way.
It is.
Well, not only that, but everyone tries to get to the story first, and in doing that, they end up looking like dumbasses. Okay. And I will raise my hand and say I've looked like a dumbass, not on purpose, but we have people that are like, what's out, what's new, what's there, and we've talked about things and gone back and edited what we have said, not edited the video, but covered it in the next video over, because we get stuff wrong too. We have to obviously, and there's a lot of stuff.
Day one, fact check us too.
Yeah,
but we fully admit we're covering stuff that we see online. We're not journalists.
Yeah, right. No, exactly. But we do filter. A lot of people don't know, but we do filter a lot of the shit that comes our way. I mean, we get messages from people all the time, and it's like, I'm not really saying that on the show. So, but
Sean, are you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay, I did want to, right before Masty goes, I wanted to Kyle Cena a quick shout out. He's one of our admins. He said that I win. Oh crap! What was it that I won? I win the pedantic fuck award of the night. Ha ha ha. So here's my. Does it not work?
Shallow and pedantic.
Oddly enough, somebody did message me and say, "Damn, Angsty's fucking long-winded."
Yeah, no, that's not surprising. The Google effects aren't working.
Ooh.
I was gonna give myself a little tiara. That's too bad.
Okay, I'll give you that.
I was gonna accept my pedantic fuck of the.
Oh shit! There is one other thing. TPD. The guidelines for TPD have been released.
Yeah.
I don't know a goddamn thing about it, and I don't think any of us know a goddamn thing about it. But if I'm right, and I could be completely wrong in this, I'm pretty sure the Ideal Ohm Show guys are studying up.
Probably.
So please direct all questions about TPD and check out their show on Thursday, because I think they're going to cover it, and they're going to do it a lot more justice than us because it directly affects them.
And if you can't watch it live, it's also on theownpage.com.
And their YouTube. I will
YouTube.
link the TPD stuff in side chat if I can find it, or in the YouTube description, just so it's there. If anybody else wants to read it. There. Sorry. Go ahead, Masty.
Okay. So since we were talking about the battery safety and stuff blowing up and shit, I also fly drones, all kinds of sizes. I mean, I've seen me flying that little one and some big ones, and for fun. LiPo batteries are used with almost all of them, and I saw an interesting story, and this is just starting to happen now. I saw an interesting story of a guy who was traveling within the U.S. and was carrying his, I think it was a Phantom and 3 different batteries in a case, and he had to bring the case on board with him because you cannot check LiPo batteries anymore in the luggage. And basically, the new rules that just recently changed with the FAA are basically batteries must be offered for transport state, must be offered in a transfer state of charge, basically SOC, and basically they're not to exceed 30% of their rated design capacity. That means that if you have a mod and it's got a LiPo in it, you need to make sure that that at least is at 30%. Okay, now I know that a lot of people are going to say, oh, it's mostly 18650s. Hey, guys, there's a lot of mods now that are having LiPos in them. Okay, whether you know it or not or have opened it or not, you need to be aware of that. The next thing that you need to be aware of, and it really doesn't apply so much to the mods unless you have a mod that you can easily interchange the LiPo with, plug in and switch it. The size of the watt hours of the LiPos have to be under 100 watt hours, or basically you can be carrying 2 separate LiPos as a carry-on. You can't check them, so you have to bring them on board with you. And to figure out and I know Mooch is in chat, to figure out the watt hours of the batteries, you can take the voltage times the amperage amp hours of the battery. So, example, if you have a 14.4 volt battery times 5 amp hours, that's a 72 watt hour battery. So it has to be under 100. Now, why do I say this? So this guy gets on the plane, and his case does not fit in the overhead compartment. So he goes up to a stewardess and says, "Hey, can you help me put my case, my bag, whatever it was, somewhere else?" Usually they'll have a space for you to be able to do that because he got on late on the plane. And she says, "Oh no," she's like, "I'll just check it for you." And he says, "You can't check that. That's got LiPo batteries in it." Well, that threw off a chain of events that, long story short, got him kicked off the plane because the pilot did not want to fly with LiPo batteries on board. Now, there isn't anything in the FAA rulebook that says that, that guy was not allowed to basically hold that in his lap, yeah, or be on the plane with him. As long as he has a place to put it so it doesn't bang around in case of turbulence, he could carry it on with him. But that pilot has the last word. Now, as we were talking about, Sean, in the insurance, you can just lie, right? And this guy could have just said nothing, and she would have checked that box of LiPos and been, on the bottom end of the plane, and he would have been fine. He would have been able to fly home, no problem. So remember those things. TSA, you're going to go right through all that, but when you are now boarding a plane and you are, basically carrying your carry-on, you might want to make sure you try to get on in some of the earlier ones. This happened on Southwest. And it was basically pilot's discretion. So I don't know how much discretion I'm sure they can just say you're not flying, and you're getting kicked off the plane. So, and you can't do anything about it. So what ended up happening is he, basically the gate manager or whoever it was able to go look at the FAA regulations, and he made sure that he was on a plane. But by that time, it was hours later. So something to think about when you're traveling. And I'm not.
As a side note, you can't check 18650s either. You can't check any. No. You're not supposed to check any batteries.
No batteries in the because it's not pressurized, and that could be a problem. So you need to carry all that shit on.
Dr. Pencil, yep. I'm going to stop. I'm done trying to pronounce his name correctly. He said the pilot has the last word while in the air. As soon as it stops, he is a citizen again. Is that true?
Yeah.
They've got a lot of leeway because they're in charge, right? I mean, they're responsible for the lives of the people on the plane.
Yeah.
And if they're not comfortable with anything, including like the health of the plane, the shit that's going on board, people that are acting certain ways on board, if they're acting crazy drunk, whatever, pilot can say no. Mm-mm.
Yeah. So part of the issue was too is that like a few weeks ago, like 2-3 weeks ago, someone who was on a plane with a case with the batteries and the terminals were covered and everything, the LiPo actually caught on fire in the mid-flight. And there's a picture of 2 flight attendants, using fire extinguishers on this case, above, that's sitting there smoking. So, just be aware of that when you're going to travel with your mods. And, it's something. It's kind of like forgetting the old clippers in the bag and TSA going, oh, what are these? I mean, especially with mods like this that have an integral battery. So
or if you're in the Dallas
remember
Cowboys and you have a pistol in your bag, I mean, these things happen.
Yeah, I mean, pistol, a bullet, whatever.
Yeah. No, I mean it's good. It's nice that you got to give the pilots some amount of that kind of leeway for all the reasons I just mentioned a minute ago. But we also need to make sure that we're taking out all cell phones, cell phone battery packs, laptops. I mean, everything else has got a friggin' LiPo in it. Yeah. Hopefully they're making that decision when they're educated about what they're talking about.
Well, that was a big part of the whole conversation that when the FAA wanted to ban vaporizers altogether.
Right.
Are you going to ban cell phones and smartwatches and?
Well, last I checked, there have been more burns from cell phones than vapes.
Way more. And laptop fires on planes too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think more now that it's becoming, I just see it as something where they're going to say, oh, it's a vape, it's going to have a LiPo. Nope, it's not flying. Yeah. It's getting to that point where if they're already, it's their word. I don't want it in my plane. You could ship it. I will still
wager that every single person who gets on a plane is getting on a plane with a LiPo. I would say it's probably only vapors and maybe a few others using 18.
Yeah, and I think the main thing, and like I said, I don't know if Mooch is in chat or not, but I think the main thing with them is they're wanting, they're not too worried about stuff that is, 50 watt hours, 20 watt hours, small batteries, LiPos, even though they're still LiPos. So that's why that 100 watt watt hour number is there, and you're limited to 2 per person that you can carry on.
The FDA regulates batteries, and that's what we get. Then everything will be a copacetic.
Right.
Yep, you got it. So next thing I wanted to cover, a user by the name of, oh man, it doesn't show me his.
We've done several vapes on a plane episodes, by the way.
Yeah.
Talking about vaping and flying.
Yep. I still haven't written up that thing on Discord. I don't mean to do that forever.
Yeah. So, the next thing I wanted to show is a little test that a user did, and I'm sorry I don't have the name didn't come over, but I'll put up the image. Basically, this is his living room windows, and what he did was he vaped for 2 months, and basically he used the Rain-X anti-fog on the left windows. So the windows to the left are treated, and the windows to the right are untreated. Yeah. It kind of reminds me of Anksy's monitor. And
I've got glass French doors into my office here, and they look like the windows on the right more often than not.
Yeah. So it kind of looks like this on you. Yeah. So what this guy did was he used the Rain-X anti-fog, trying to see if it would keep some of the buildup that happens on glass. Mm-hmm. And again, this was a 2-month process here that he did this test over. And as you can see, there's a little bit of difference, but not much. So really, the Rain-X anti-fog did not help.
Oh, really? I think it looks significantly better on the left.
I don't know. I mean, I'll zoom in again.
The left middle window looks a lot better, but the far left window doesn't.
Yeah, and I think it's just the tree in the back. I mean, and the lighting, but obviously that one's got it's up here is a lot better. But yeah, I mean it did help. It looks like it did help a little bit, but and I'm wondering too, how small of an area this is, because there's a I'm sure there's a lot more ventilation, but hey, then again, it's glass, and this happens more in cars too. So
yeah, exactly. Like cars need some help as well. I was sort of mention one of the Shout user 84 guy that's over there. they're still catching up on the plane talk. He's like, that's all right. I'll just keister my lipos.
I have wipes, like glass wipes, that I keep in my car.
Oh, I thought you were still talking.
Is he gonna run the leads out of his butthole in case he needs a backup battery?
My monitor gets beat up sometimes, and just pull a glass wipe out of my butthole and wipe off.
I was wondering I was wondering where that was going to, but
Wipe up
You gotta
swell
clean
in
your-
his colon.
you gotta wipe your boofer okay. Can I continue my news?
Yeah,
So
please.
anyway, in other news, there's that new Tesla shit. There's the new Tesla
Tesla Hazard.
Stealth is what they're calling it, and
That's a fixed output, isn't it?
it is.
Or is it
It
mechanical?
fixed output. Yeah, I believe it's fixed output. But
Sorry, I said
some
fixed
people are saying
output.
that
I
they
think
believe
it's unregulated.
they
right?
think they think it. I think some people are saying it's regulated. But I'm not 100% sure. Here's we'll pull up another picture of it. This is what they look like.
Oh, that's not the toaster one. There's a different toaster one.
Yeah, there's a
There you
couple
go.
of little side-by-sides coming out, and that's one of them, yeah.
Side by sides of the best.
So there's the top part, bottom part. So there you go. There's not much info about them just yet. So, all right. So next thing I wanted to talk about was on the name of the website is Uric Alert. It's a global source for science news. There's an article that was published today by the Georgetown University Medical Center that says top tobacco control experts to the FDA. Studies of e-cigs suggest more benefit than harm. So you have 7 of the top international tobacco control experts basically are prompting regulators at the FDA to have a broad open mind when it comes to regulating vaporized nicotine products, basically e-cigs. So it's a really good read. It's quite a bit. I have not read through the whole thing, so I will post it in chat. But basically it's them saying, hey, the discussion has been slanted against e-cigs for this whole time, which is unfortunate because they're seeing, they're basically seeing that this is helping people. One of the quotes says, it's unfortunate because the big picture tells us that these products appear to be used mostly by people who already are or will likely become cigarette smokers, and this can help them, basically quit. So, which goes into, I got a message about last week's show. We talked about the video that I didn't show, which was of the kid, and it looked like it was going backwards of smoking, but it was actually, it was by the Blow and Smoke campaign, where it shows the kid going from vaping to smoking. So, and they were saying, oh, you should have shown it and all that. I'm not going to give them any, any clicks. Let's just say it that way. So, and I know, they were basically saying, well, you should have just showed it on the show so people don't go looking for it. I kind of pretty much said what it was about, so no need to really watch the video. So there's a link for that. And Mooch posted on Reddit earlier today about can we use LifePo4 batteries for vaping. That's LifePo4. And they are lithium ferrous phosphate batteries, or LFP. They're also called IFR. And they're a different type of lithium-ion chemistry than basically the ones that we use in every day, which are IMR, INR, and ICR. The continuous discharge current specs for these batteries seem to be perfect for vaping. Why? Because some of them are, like, for example, 30 amp for the 18650 and 70 amp for the 26650. There's a few things they need to basically think about before putting them in a mod. The 18650 is only 1100 mAh, and the 26650 is only 2300 mAh. So they have a lower nominal voltage than the ones that we use, IMR, INR, and ICR, and they're usually 3.3 volts. You can compensate for the lower voltage in an unregulated mechanical mod, but that means that regulator mods will stop firing and show a weak battery. So there's that to think about.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things he's basically saying one important advantage to these LFP batteries, though, is that the safest lithium-ion chemistry we can use. The temperature at which they go into thermal runaway is way higher than the IMR, INR, or ICR batteries. If they do go into thermal runaway, the reaction is much less violent with other chemistry. So there's usually no flames, and the temperature of the reaction is much lower. So think about that. He basically says, can we use them for vaping? Yes. He doesn't feel that they're worth the compromises, though, but safety is top priority, then maybe that might be for you. So if you want to try those out, give them a try. And I haven't spoken to Mooch about this yet, but one of the questions that I was going to ask him, not related to this post, is what he thinks about the LiPo, the high voltage LiPos that are coming out now. And these high voltage LiPos basically are giving longer run times, for example, in quadcopters and stuff. So I'm wondering how that translates to using them in a vaping device. So now you need a different charger, just like you with these batteries. You need a 3.6 volt charger. They can't be charged to 4.2 volts. So that's something that I'm gonna be talking to him about and maybe come up with it on the show. So. And I think that's it for me. So, on news.
We're exactly an hour and a half. Goodbye, everybody.
Are we tech timing it up tonight, or are we gonna have our first hour and a half show in a year and a half?
No, we are gonna tech time. Yeah.
Then to tech time we go.
Good.
Mass is like, not today.
No.
Well,
Not to my mom.
Okay, here's. I'm gonna be honest. Here's what happened. So, the RX200. Okay, there's been much debate and messages and shit about fixing a 30, and the price keeps coming down. Every week it was like 38, there's 35, somebody sent me a link for $32. I mean, like, it's almost around $30 for a mod. So here's what happened. The positive output pin on this basically came right off the board. The pad that's on the board came right off when we took the old positive connection off. Now I was able to scrape some of the trace from the that was there left on the board, but it's barely usable. So this thing is scrap now, and stuff like that happens. I mean, and I'm glad that actually happened, because that's just to show that you have to be gentle when desoldering these things and pulling them off, but that can happen when pulling up on a pad because of the solder that they're using. So at least the videos covered basically fixing the wiring for the sled, because the sled wiring was very, very thin wire, getting into the 510 and where you can modify your sled if you wanted to. And basically putting everything back together is just in reverse of going forward. But that's pretty much where we're going to get to with the RX200. So that's pretty much tech time tonight, showing you that shit does break sometimes when you're doing stuff. And again, please don't message me telling me, how dare I say it's only a $38 mod or $30 mod. Hey, if you want to take it apart and drill out the sled and do all that, by all means, that's what modding's all about. I can, I showed you all the way through to getting to that point, and maybe next week I'll show you how to mill down or cut down the center part, for putting a Fat Daddy Rivera Tube 510 in for the metal part. So we'll see.
Oh, actually, I don't have tech time. I have a very short troll time segment. So
okay,
it's relating to the RX200.
All right, 1 second, Ahmed.
Sure.
So the one thing that I did wanna say and cover is I have used my helping hands, for years. I mean, these things are old. I bought these at an old place where young whippersnappers might not know, Radio Shack, because they don't barely exist anymore. You can buy cell phones there now. That's about it. But anyways, and these have been great You know, again, these have been awesome, work great. But I saw a build of helping hands that are really nice. They use an aluminum base and they use the flex hose. So what I'm going to do is next week we're going to get into building one of those for yourselves. Or if you don't, this will be right in the beginning of the video. If you don't want to build one yourself and you want to buy one, they're around. They're anywhere from $48 to $50 for a nice set of helping hands. You can go out and buy one, no problem. You can get them from Adafruit, you can get them from eBay, or you can just build one if you want. So you can basically set the arms exactly where you want it. Maybe you wanted it a little bit bigger to have more space to work. So we're going to build one of those. And you know, Tech Time isn't always going to be, you know, the electronics. It's also parts and pieces that you use that, man, I tell you what, it'll make your life so much easier when you have multiple helping hands. You know, being able to hold boards and stuff like that. So we're talking about that next week.
Yeah. Yeah.
Troll time.
Right.
Yeah, so speaking of the RX200, if you like downvotes on Reddit, if anyone goes and is worshipping the RX200, just tell them it's shit. End of story. I got downvoted to fuck yesterday because I said something relating to its 510. I don't remember exactly, but yeah, fun times.
Well, it's a continuation of. I'm not going to tell you to, you know, just toss a mod away, but you know, basically, price is going to start, you know, getting into effect. And second, the power output was just set to 200. Was it 200? Did it go above 200? I think the latest update was.
250,
I think it was 250. So remember, you're still using those 3 batteries. You're still nothing has changed on the mod except for the software, and now you're at 250 watts. And there was a post on Reddit about, hey, if you're running your RX100 above 200 watts, you need to check the temperature of your batteries. I mean, you know, so remember, if you have an RX200 and it has shit wiring in it, and you were at 200 watts and stuff was getting warm, you betcha it's going to get warm at 250. So there's not much metal there. I mean, you know, when you look at this, you're looking at you know, a thin piece of metal on the top where the 510 is, and basically the lid, because the sled is plastic. So you know, remember that you're going to get a lot of heat from your atomizer too. That this thing's going to try to dissipate. So. At least it's you know, it's a metal and it's not plastic. So, but you know, always remember that. Is it worth your time to go through and rip everything out for a 510 fix?
It's like a money pit of a car, you know.
It's throw good
In these cases, you're not pouring money; you're just pouring absurd amounts of time in. So yeah, that's what it is, man.
Yep.
Yep.
Cool. Well. Close, almost an hour and a half.
Yeah, it's close.
Yeah.
Better than 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say.
Yeah.
So that's our show.
Thank you for watching, everybody.
Wu-Tang!
Toodaloo.
Can we kazoo out?
Kazoo.
Don't run, jump, or dance while playing the kazoo.
Kazoo? That's crazy. Just you and me. Thanks. I'm glad you came along. Partner. Partner.